Hello, welcome to the channel. This is chapter 86, Those Who Move in the Dark, of the web novel That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Like and subscribe for more content. After being recognized by the other demon lords without any problems, I returned to the monster's country Tempest. On the day following my return, I decided to hold an urgent meeting with the department heads. In the meantime, I ordered Sue to observe the movements of monsters in the region. Sue accepted, albeit added that there's probably no longer a reason to worry about that. What does he mean there's no longer a reason to worry about that? Are they all coexisting happily now? Well, I'd be happy if they were. Eliminating the brainless monsters is probably a good idea. And besides, since so many of us radiate powerful auras, the chance of a monster appearing has decreased. After all, we need to ensure that the human merchants are able to traverse our roads safely. Moreover, the weaker monsters could also be a threat to the humans. So I guess exterminating the said groups is our only option. In response to my worries. In that case, how about we set up an anti-monster barrier along the roads? Bester suggested. And as if planning this in advance. Dana, we have succeeded. A magic tool that creates barriers. Kaijin exclaimed with a satisfied smile on his face. Seriously, these old geezers are too amazing. I did know that they were developing this in secret, but it's a real shame that it didn't come in handy during the earlier incident. But to be able to create test products in less than a month, aren't they just geniuses? Kaijin, Bester, and I guess Gabble have developed quite a few things already. By now, Kaijin had completely left the smithy to Kurabi and wholeheartedly devoted himself to research. Well, as someone who represents our entire development staff, I guess he can't spend all his time on research. From what he said, the magic energy concentration around here is now able to gather easily. Moreover, superior auras tends to drift freely around here. Even the concentration inside the cave, where B+ ranked monsters tend to spawn, has gotten denser. In other words, our country is rather abnormal. As a result, they have been analyzing the effects of change in atmospheric magic energy concentration on the formation of demon crystals. It seems that at the same time as magic concentration decreases, demon crystals tend to appear. As the concentration decreases, the chance of a monster or a Yuma spawning also decreases, thus rendering my worries meaningless. It's a truly wonderful discovery. This is crucial for our country to release competitive products. And as a byproduct of their research, we have now obtained a way to obtain demon crystals and have also discovered the creation methods for magic stones. Seems like the magic stones I acquired in the Ingratia Kingdom came in handy. Well, they did tell me that creation of magic stones involved various large instruments, but it truly is an arduous process. Even if we had discovered the method for creating them, it will take time for us to produce any. On the other hand, we can easily use demon crystals alone as fuel. Unlike the more purely concentrated energy sources that the magic stones are, using demon crystals is easy. Now, what was recently developed was a barrier inscribed on top of demon steel. It uses the artificial demon crystal as a fuel source. It's currently shaped like a cube with a volume of 1 meter. The thickness of the barrier is 50 centimeters. Thus, it's pretty heavy and hard to carry. But, once you start it, it will naturally absorb magical energy from the surrounding and continue functioning indefinitely. It would be great if we could reduce it to a single sheet of demon steel, but at least it's easy to use. So when we put this simple magic circle, we named it Barrier Kuan by the way, into operation along the 10 kilometers long road, we will ensure security along the route. But I guess adjusting it so that it runs just along the route of the highway is the most praiseworthy part. I've been told that it took the combined knowledge of not just Bester and Kaijin, but also Shuna and Kurabi. It wasn't something they've been designing for the last month, but something they were imagining for that long. It's a bit moving. I quickly gave my approval and had them plan to set it up along the highway. I altered the order I gave to Sue to include observing the effects the barrier will have. And so, the monster's country Tempest has been steadily trying to become the center of this world's commerce. Next, I heard the current state of affairs. I really should have heard this first, but people speaking out of turn got us sidetracked. Things have gotten rather quiet. There have been no changes in the region and no country is taking any visible measures. I also heard you move circumstances. The king we released is also moving according to our expectations. It really would be impossible for Yumu, who had never been a king, to control the nobles. So, it might be fun to watch the old king try to befriend us and use us to his advantage. If he does befriend us, it might come in handy to Yumu later on. While hearing the report, I made this mental note. Thus the report paused. Everyone has been trying really hard to secretly resolve all my worries, so I just asked whether there were any new problems. Not a problem, but I want to let my brethren know about Rimuru-sama's ascension as a demon lord. Would it be acceptable for me to visit every village as transportation skill practice? Gerudo raised his hand and asked. Now that he mentions it, we've been so busy with the creation of the highway that I have no idea how the High Orcs are doing. I had heard that the food situation was solved as expected, but nothing after that. I permitted his journey, and... Oh, by the way, I hadn't mentioned this, but I have been given the Jura Forest as my domain. Which is why, and I don't think it will happen, but if anyone comes to invade, we'll need to repel them. Oh, and how should I declare my reign over the region? Or should I just leave it as is? My words caused everyone to stare at me. What? Did I do something wrong? The whole forest? Really? Rigurdo asked hesitantly. Seriously? This area had been treated as neutral zone. The Traians being our acquaintances and them being mostly immobile is not a problem. But how the secret villages of the elves react could be problematic, Benimaru added. Well, that shouldn't be a problem. Unless they decide to fight us. I mean, all the rights of the forest have been bestowed upon Rimuru-dana by the demon lords. Which is amazing. Until now, cities and villages have been developing into the forest, taking the resources as they pleased. We have done the same and didn't ask for permission. Because we didn't need to. But now, even the elves would have to ensure that they can still continue living in their hidden villages. They will have to ask permission from Demon Lord Rimuru. So this will be big, you know, Kaijin said, full of anticipation. As he says, no one needed permission to live around here until now. But, will that go as you say? They've been living here for so long, so isn't their presence already recognized? I asked. No, the question is, will they come seeking the Demon Lord's protection or choose to live as they please? Of course, they'll decide that by themselves. But that would mean that they are opening themselves to an invasion. If anything, our race will come to greet you. I will let my father know, panicked, Gabble said. Somehow, I feel like this might become an important event. Ignoring the carefree Veldora, Shion for some reason has a very proud look on her face. If it was this important, I wish you'd tell me earlier, not that Shion would have noticed it. By the way, Shion, this domain was not earned by any of your efforts, you know. Seriously, unlike her secretary-like appearance, she can't do that job at all. I despaired. Foo fun. That's only to be expected of Rimuru-sama. And other similarly haughty lines Shion said with a proud expression. In short, in order to get the Demon Lord's protection, you have to come meet him first. From now on we will be conducting an investigation of the Jura Forest to find out what kind of intelligent races live here. Even though we had just finished building the highway, we'll be busy again. Well, we haven't built one leading into the Sorcerer's Dynasty Sarian yet, so we have a lot of work left over. Seriously, I had expected that becoming a Demon Lord would be a pain, but to think that I was right to such an extent. After ending the department heads meeting, I remembered a question I forgot to ask. Right, did we get a response from Hinata yet? By the way, did the messenger we sent to the Western Saints Church safely deliver the message? Did we get a response to my question? Kufu. My master, of course it arrived safely. The region's defenses are impregnable, but we didn't see anyone approach. We have yet to receive a response. Diablo confirmed the message's arrival and Benimaru noted the lack of a response. Well, they might be still busy thinking. I wouldn't want to fight Hinata, but that depends on her. I don't think I would lose now, but I won't be letting my guard down against her. Honestly, and I know this is impossible, but I would rather they just apologize. I want to focus on expanding as a country already. And thus, facing problems the same way I did before I became a demon lord, I ended the department meeting. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.